Номер 88 Андрей Василевский.
On defense in the battalion.
Защитники.
Number 4, number 8.
Номер 4 Владислав Каприков.
Number 55, Igor Benzek.
Номер 53 Богдан Киселевич.
Forwards and short, number 7.
Нападающие.
Number 7, Domazini.
Номер 7 Иван Телегин.
Number 11, Liet.
Номер 11 Сергей Андронов.
Number 29, Jan Sander.
И номер 21 Александр Барабанов.
And on this side, XXL
Good afternoon from Cologne, Germany. Italy gets set for another difficult match for them as they get set to take on Russia. That will start our triple header here in Cologne today. And I guess the challenge for Russia, Shane Natty, is to not underestimate your opponent.
Well, they have to play to their level. They can't come down. They have to dictate the pace of the game, and it'll be a big challenge here for Italy, who did give a bit of a scare to Slovakia. They had the lead with just over a minute left before Slovakia tied it, eventually won in overtime, but they did pick up a point. As for Russia, great comeback win against Sweden, end up going to a shootout in which they were able to win. They pick up a couple points, but you look at this match today, and it should be all Russia. If they play their game with the speed, the talent, the pace, it'll be a long, early day here for Italy. But Frederick Kluche, the goaltender, will try and make sure that doesn't happen. And Andrei Vasilevsky, very good against Sweden, the 22-save performance, and was excellent in the shootout.
Is the message perhaps from Coach Olex Narak by starting Vasilevsky that, guys, we have to play to our level in this contest, is what you mentioned before?
I think so. I think it's about respecting your opponent, being ready to play regardless of who you're against.
Gavrikov back in his own end as this one is underway here in Cologne. Referees are Josef Kubish and Linus Olund of Sweden, and the linesmen are Brian Oliver of the United States and Hannu Suminen of Finland. Kisilovic, Zavrikov, they play give and go. Through the middle of the ice, Barabanov trying to cut through the middle, couldn't get through. Good hit on the far side as Telegin stepped into his man. That was part of Russia's game plan. Sure, we finished all of our checks. Sapachev couldn't get a stick on it, and this will slide back into the Russian zone, and Vasilevsky will leave it there.
Well, and you're going to see Italy just sit back and try and tighten up in the neutral zone, not allow Russia to get their speed going.
There's the turnover at center ice. Artemi Panarin couldn't get through the middle. Julio Scandella, who had that breakaway in overtime yesterday, gets the long shot in.
Oh, I had a great opportunity as the older brother of Marco Scandella of Minnesota to end that game against Slovakia in overtime, and a great chance. Was unable to beat the Slovakia netminder. We'll see, this was the top line for Italy in that game, producing both goals.
Scandella, one of 7 members on this Italian team that played against Russia back in 2012. Russia regrouping, Provorov. And again, there's that defensive structure by Italy. Now they finally creep inside the blue line as Provorov backed up all the way in front of his own netminder. Here comes Artemi Panarin. Panarin looking off that backside, and Larkin knocked his man down as that pass came across. Panarin controls again. Sapachev back for Panarin, and Kluche makes the save on the short side. Panarin has it again, sends it looking for Sapachev. This big line for Russia with some of their magic.
Oh, they're very good at those crossing passes, getting open, quick plays, quick passes.
Zanatta back for Italy, in on Anton Zub. This gets taken off in behind the net, and Antipin will settle it down. Through center ice, Gusev finds a little bit of room, lets the wrist shot go. Kluche steers that aside. Rebound was there for a second, but Italy able to clear Andergassen and got back to knock it away. And Zub will send it back into his own end. Antipin, Gusev. Gusev feeds it through the middle. Trying to find some room with Kucherov.
Watch out!
Andergassen turn the puck over in behind his own net. Centered out front, and Gusev had it knocked off his stick before he could fire it. At the line, Kisilovic plays it down low. Gusev dishes it off to Kucherov. Nemesnikov out there as well as they go to work. Russia on the attack. Nemesnikov tried to leave it for Gusev. Simon Costner's there to break it up. Out there with Diego Costner, but they are not related. Shot to the short side. Kluche may have got a right arm on that. Gavrikov from the line lets it go, and that hit a body in front, hit Gusev. Some friendly fire there from Russia. And Kisilovic will take this back into his own zone and set up the change for Russia.
Well, you see the talent of Russia. And right now, Italy, they're just trying to keep everything to the outside. Hope Kluche can make the saves, let him see the puck.
Stopped at the line as Marcus Gander breaks that up. But Italy unable to clear the zone. Kachev after it for Plotnikov. Plotnikov knocks it off the skate to the front of the net, but it's grabbed off by Goy. He'll play this out for Frank, and Frank will send it in. Gander goes in after it, as does Frank, but it comes around for Plotnikov. Plotnikov will send it rink wide, trying to find Mozyakin. And icing will be the call against Russia as the captain of the Russian team, the veteran Mozyakin.
Well, Sergei Mozyakin, great year, led the KHL this past season, 60 games, 48 goals, and 85 points to lead the way. Former Columbus Blue Jacket pick back in 2002, but he's in his 8th World Championship, first time as the captain.
Mironov plays this up the wall. Plotnikov goes in after it. Plotnikov in there by Hofer. Hofer trying to get a little bit of help there from Traversa, but Russia off the sideboards, controlling with Kachev. Now it does get intercepted and sent down the ice. And Italy now will be called for icing.
Tommaso Traversa just getting that puck up and down, and you can see the Italian coaches here just making sure, and it's going to be a very patient game from them. They know they can't match the speed and the skill of Russia, so they're going to have to do this as a team effort, and team defense is going to be the key word.
Tyson Barrie has Canada up 1-0 on Slovenia. Mironov back into his own zone. We know Italy will ice the puck to try and slow the play down, but are they playing with fire by having face-off after face-off in their own end?
They win them, it's okay, but lose that draw and Russia gets any possession, they're going to snap the puck around to the outside. As we look at Sergei Andronov, who scored that tying goal against Sweden in the 3rd period. And a big goal for Russia, who was very dominant against Sweden in the 3rd. They were slow starting, but they got better as the game went on.
Outshot Sweden 14-3 in the 3rd period, tied the game. Both teams had terrific chances in overtime. It was trade chance time. Back and forth they went. And then eventually went to a shootout, and Artemi Panarin had the game-winning goal. Played in deep by Italy. Frigo sends it in behind the Russian net. There's the big line for Italy now out there with Scandella, Frigo, and Marini. Sapachov with Panarin and Dodonov. Dodonov sends this cross ice for Zubin. The line, rebound at the side of the net, and no one could get a stick on it. Panarin had it bounce away from him. Panarin on it again. He'll drop it back at the line for Antipin. Shot from the line is wide, comes off the backboards. Kluche missed it as he tried to knock it away. And it's out at center ice, and no further. There's no room there for Giovanni Marini. Marini will play this back into his own zone. Alexander Egger will start back for Italy. The pass up the middle, that misses everyone. They do clog up the middle of the ice.
Now they're just going to sit back. Anytime they can't get into the forecheck, you're going to see one guy up, four back between the blue lines.
Kucherov for Gusev, so Gusev's all right after taking a shot off some part of his body in front of the Italian net. Gavrikov will send this cross ice and then get it back. Gavrikov plays it for Gusev. Gusev will drop it back. Russia back in on the attack with Namestnikov. Gusev, Kucherov. Peter Kucherov, the Tampa Bay Lightning in on the forecheck, comes up with the steal. Namestnikov, quick shot, that never got to the net. And taken and cleared by Egger. Kept in at the line by Gavrikov though. And Italy will have to regroup with Daniel Glira turned over at the line and trying to bust his way through, but unable to do so was Kachev. And Kucherov will play it back into his own end, and he'll head to the bench on the change, and Anton Belov will go back for it. 2 goals and 7 points for Anton Belov last year, led all defensemen in scoring. Kachev for Zub, for Belov to the front of the net. Kluche steered that bouncing puck away. Zub charges in from the line, trying to force a turnover. Kachev gives him a little bit of support. Down for Plotnikov. Plotnikov for Belov on that far side. Goes away from him, but Kachev jumps on it. For Mosiak, and he'll let it go to Plotnikov. Plotnikov dishes off for Kachev. Anton Belov takes a bump there from Insam. But Russia controls the puck. Kachev into the slot for Mosiakin, and the slap shot never got through. Back up top for Mironov. Mironov's shot never got to the net, and finally picked up and cleared by Marco Insam. This will not have enough to get across the icing line.
Basically, the majority of this game has been played in the Italian zone. Whenever they get it, it's a chip out and a change. So, strictly defensive mode here for Italy.
Stays scoreless though. Barabanov plays this in behind the Italian net. And Tiefin was going to jump in, and then he elects to back out, but he breaks the play up at center ice. Andronov plays this inside the Italian line, and this will be offside against Russia as Andronov carries in.
Down Russia as much as they can.
Coach Stefan Mayer did say they were a little intimidated going into their opening game yesterday. Shot, score! Deflected in front of the net. Andronov getting a stick on that, and Russia off the face-off has the 1-0 lead.
Well, for all the chances they had, and you mentioned the face-off in Italy's zone, and Andronov, who had the big goal last game, just a simple play outside the zone. They're going to get it in quick. Barabanov just going to pull up, roll off the wall, shot it in front. A nice deflection by Andronov. Those are the two that connected against Sweden, and they connect once again as they open up the scoring for the second game for Russia. And Andronov, a nice deflection past Kluche.
So he gets his second of this World Championship. And for him, this is his first World Championship, as Russia has gone with a bit of a younger squad.
Originally a St. Louis draft pick back in 2009 in the third round.
Inside the line, that got turned over. Following up on the play, there's the long slap shot in from Stefano Marchetti. Rebound taken by Goy, couldn't do anything with it. And Russia will control. Belov quickly sends this for Sapachov in for Dodonov. Has Panarin with him. Into Panarin, the shot got blocked. His getting back was Marco Insam. Mironov will take this all the way back into his own end. Gusev sends this ahead. Russia back on the attack. Nemesnikov plays it at the line, gets sent in deep by Mironov. Bounces around. Gusev to the front of the net. A redirect there. Gusev on it again. Back for Mironov. Mironov will go rink wide. Kucherov with that cross ice pass into the slot. The shot that never got through. And Mironov will backtrack. Mironov will leave it. Artem Zub will start the attack. Lead pass through the middle, misses everyone. And an icing call against Russia.
Look at Sergei Andronov as he gets the deflection in front. Gavrikov, nice little play to Barabanov just on the side wall. A quick shot to the net. Good deflection as Andronov gets good position on the defenseman Larkin of Italy to make that play happen. Goes past Frederick Cloutier to open up the scoring.
Mentioned the St. Louis draft pick, 12-13. He played in Peoria. 13-14, Chicago of the AHL. And then in 15-16, elected to come back to the KHL. Gave it a 2-year shot. Carried in, Kachev charges to the net, and Cloutier got enough of it. We have an injured Italian player, as there was a bit of a pileup in front of the Italian net. And down is Helfer.
Armin Helfer, Kachev just drives the net hard as he comes across. Contact with Helfer, who may have just got winded on that play. Kachev just going to drop that shoulder drive hard to the net. Look at the shot, but make a collision with Helfer, who's able to get up now and seems to be all right as he heads back to the Italian bench.
May have been some head contact right there with the right elbow of Kachev.
Just protecting the puck. Armin Helfer intended to.
Plotnikov off the face-off, tried to find Mosiakin with it, but picked off by Costner, and he'll play it down the ice. Gavrikov is after it. Costner gets rubbed out in behind the net by Kasilovic. Kasilovic goes down, but Russia will control. Kachev back on it, sends it cross ice. Kachev with that return feed leaves for Mosiakin. Plotnikov circling in the high slot. Kachev is on it for Mosiakin. Mosiakin looks back at the point for Kasilovic and then skates back to the point, so Kasilovic moves more to the middle of the ice. Back for Kasilovic now, and Cloutier just got a piece of that. Right-handed catching netminder for Italy has been busy here in the opening period. Costner back to the line, the wrist shot never got through. And Gavrikov to the corner boards along with Gander. Now Gander will backtrack to that neutral zone position. And wow, an Italian forechecker almost got to the top of the circles there.
They are not going in very deep into that Russian zone at all.
Marchetti's pass is picked off, and the shot from the slot never got through. Back to the line for Belov. And Tiefin, the defenseman, is all the way down low. Barabanov now in on the forecheck. Telegan had his man lined up, and Gander just got rid of it and then makes his way to the Italian bench. Anton Belov, brief stint in the National Hockey League with the Edmonton Oilers. Artemi Panarin drops it back, shot from the high slot as Mironov moved in. Rebound, side of the net, Cloutier, big save off Artemi Panarin. Mironov sends it down low. Sapachev, he got stripped of the puck, and then he goes back in after it against Bernard. Bernard got tripped up. Dodonov plays it cross ice. Provorov will play it down low. Provorov gets it back. Provorov around the net, trying to play it out front. Provorov gets it right back as it came off a stick. Sapachev, Mironov, Panarin, Mironov drills it and he blasted it wide, and as it comes off the backboards, Frederic Kuche is going to dive on it and hang on to it. 1-0 Russia.
Is the win. Current jackpot today, €75. Yesterday, at the end of the day, the jackpot was at more than €2,500. An alle Eishockey-Fans, unterstützt den deutschen Eishockey-Nachwuchs und kauft ein Los bei der 50-50-Lotterie. Die Hälfte geht direkt in die Nachwuchsarbeit, die andere Hälfte in den Jackpot. Jedes 5. Los gewinnt. Der Stand derzeit im Jackpot liegt bei €75. Gestern Abend lag der Jackpot insgesamt bei über 2.500 €.
Russia up 1-0. For Italy, they're probably happy with that right now. It's still a close game. Shot 7-1. Italy the one shot, and I believe it came from outside the blue line. And you talked about it, then it's not a hard forecheck by any means. Italy pretty much has been in defensive mode here, and Russia just passing around the zone. Russia probably would like to get more shots through to the net.
Coach Stefan Mayer said, we will be chasing the puck a lot today, and we have to try and conserve our energy. So they knew what the game plan was going in. They were going to wait in the neutral zone. We saw some of it early. We looked at Nikita Kucherov, where the puck was turned over in the neutral zone, but Helfer's after it on the far side, so he's all right after getting shaken up earlier. Zub, a redirect, and Kuche with a good save. And now a penalty coming up as Nemestikov gets the stick up, and the first power play of the game is going to go to Italy.
Well, interesting is 1-0, and a good chance here for Italy is they get the first power play of the game. Nemestikov just battling along the wall, gets the stick up as Helfer may have sold that one a bit, catches the arm, but Helfer snaps the head. It might have been a hook and call, and you know, Italy does here. Russia was only shorthanded once in that game against Sweden, but perfect on the penalty kill.
Oleg Narok, 4th year as head coach of the national team. After the poor showing at the Sochi Olympics, coaching change was made. Narok came in and has medaled every year here at the World Championship. Alexander Egger being watched by Ivan Telegan. And Italy on the power play with Costner, plays this in deep. Scandella trying to play it behind the net, does. But Andronov is first on the puck. Andronov doesn't clear it, gets knocked down in the corner, gets a little bit of help from Kasilovic. Telegan is there as well. Telegan comes up with it, slides it for Gavrikov, and Gavrikov will have some time and at least gets it to the neutral zone off the stick of Costner. But Egger will end up taking it all the way back into his own end. Italy coming off the 3-2 overtime loss to Slovakia. Russia coming off the 2-1 shootout win over Sweden. Kachev on the turnover. And he'll just play this back out for Artem Zub. Cross ice for Belov. Belov for Kachev, back for Belov. And Italy will go back and regroup.
So moving it around quite well, even though they're down a man here, as Italy's struggling to get anything set up on the power play.
Armin Helfer sends it into the slot. There's a quick shot by Traversa. That never got to the net. Back to the line. Helfer looking for Traversa. Tommaso Traversa battles for it. Mironov sends it to the near side. And some time and space on that near side for Provorov to play it ahead for Dodonov. And it just got away from him as he made his way to the front of the Italian net. Power play over.
Well, he had to keep his head up. Thomas Larkin was coming from the other side, and tried to shift away and lost control of the puck.
Back on the attack, and Thomas Larkin does have some size at 6'5", 220. So perhaps a wise decision. Out at center, Russia in front by a score of 1-0. On a goal by Sergei Andronov. And Antipin for Zub. His cross-ice pass will be kept in by Kucherov, but only briefly. Gusev gets chased back into his own end. Zub goes back to regroup. And he'll just leave the puck. Zub, the only right-hand shot defenseman on this Russian squad. At 21 years of age in his first World Championship. And look out, Kachev and Kluche and the net all colliding.
Kachev caught an edge and he went down hard, but right into the netminder, Kluche, who seems to be all right. Kachev making sure it's an accidental play. Plotnikov trying to center that. You can see it's Kachev trying to pivot. Caught an edge, went down hard right into the Italian netminder, took the feet from right under him. Both players all right. Those things don't expect to see. Some Italian fans looking for a call.
Canada up on Slovenia 3-0, so we saw the big comeback by Slovenia yesterday. They ended up coming back to tie the game before losing it. And they're going to have to do that again today if they want to try and come out of that Canada game with something. Kasilovic over for Gavrikov and back for Kasilovic. Mosiakin tries to bust his way through and he got stopped at the line as Tommaso Traversa stood his ground and took the puck away. Insam stops the play at center ice. No room there for Kachev. And Plotnikov is on it. Plotnikov gets taken to the sideboards, and now a penalty coming up as Traversa is going to go to the penalty box for the hit on Plotnikov. And now in behind the play, we've got Gavrikov and Egger at it. And now another hit as Gavrikov comes over and steps into Tommaso Traversa.
Well, Gavrikov might have went after the wrong guy. It was Traversa who had the initial hit, and Gavrikov, coming into defense of Plotnikov, was going after Egger.
Number 9, 2 minutes boarding.
And it was a boarding call by Traversa on Plotnikov. You see right into the numbers. Dangerous looking play. Plotnikov trying to turn that puck up. Traversa, not a big guy. At just 5'7", 170 pounds, plays with speed, and there's a hit. Gavrikov is.
This was after he got involved with Egger, yeah.
Just looking for someone.
Everyone was way behind the play. So the first power play of the contest for Russia.
Russia was 0 for 2 against Sweden.
Panarin in front of the net. The power play is no longer 0 for anything. As Dodonov from Panarin. And Russia with the 2-0 lead.
Only took 13 seconds as Russia goes to work with their top unit. And you see Panarin and Shapachov like to play catch behind that goal line. Dodonov sets up shop right out front between the hash marks. And it's quick work as Shapachov to Panarin. He rolls out, finds Dodonov in that slot area right on top of the crease. And Dodonov makes no mistake as he goes upstairs over the glove of Kluche, and it's 2-0 Russia. Dodonov has his first of the tournament, and Stepan Mera looking up at the clock. They probably would have been happy to go in with that 1-0 lead, but one thing for certain, you don't want to give Russia any more opportunities, and Traversa taking that penalty certainly did so.
So less than a minute to go here in the period. The shot from the initial goal scorer, Andronov, that got blocked, never got to the net. Andronov stays on it. Barabanov looking for a lane to the net. He'll just leave it at the line. Long floater comes in, doesn't get through, and turned right back up the ice now for Daniel Frank. He'll roll this in on Andrei Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky gets to touch the puck for maybe about the second time in this period. Kalagan for Barabanov. Barabanov is pinned to the corner boards by Daniel Frank. Grabbed off by Helfer, and he'll just send this out to center ice as the first period will come. Italy down by a score of 2-0 as the second period about to get underway. Russia with a couple of goals in that opening period, one coming on the power play.
Well, and it came late. Italy kept it close for the most part. Shots 10-2, and Frederic Cloutier definitely more busy. Both shots on Vasilevsky of Russia came from outside the blue line. So Italy doing what they want defensively, but they at some point have to try and generate some offense.
Both teams using their entire bench in this game. Italy had some players yesterday that saw very little action, and Enrico Migliorzani just played 11 seconds in that opener yesterday, and he saw 4 minutes and 11 seconds of ice time in that opening period. So everyone getting a chance. Turned over just outside the line. Barabanov tried to come across for Andronov, and that got cleared away and back up for Insam. Snaps it off the backboards, and it bounces to the side of the net. Andrei Vasilevsky will hold it.
Insam trying to get that in deep, maybe a little bank play as Vasilevsky's just going to snare it off the back wall. There's a look at Andrei Vasilevsky. Dadonov, who had the second goal for Russia. Nice feed from Panarin on the power play.
Marini in for the face-off as it's top line against top line. Panarin for Sapachev, but Thomas Larkin, good play to break that up. Antipin over for Panarin. Back for Antipin. Smooth skating defenseman will dish it off for Sapachev. Back for Antipin, who's in deep. Comes off the backboards, a chance in front, and it just got tipped away from Artemi Panarin before he could shoot it. Antipin back into his own end. Getting some pressure there from Morini. Dadonov leaves for Sapachev. Chips it in, goes in after it. So Artemi Panarin a couple of years ago made his way to the National Hockey League, and now Sapachev will make his way to the National Hockey League with Las Vegas, signing just before this tournament, and you wonder if Dodonov can be far behind.
All you do, just they play so well and the chemistry they have.
And then the challenge will be for one of the general managers to make a deal for the other.
Yeah, Panarin, they have been just a dynamite line. Third year in a row playing together. Panarin, Dodonov, and Sapachev, you can go and watch some of the goals they have scored, and a lot of highlight reel stuff, the way they can move the puck. And sometimes you could call it a little overpassing, but certainly three very highly skilled players.
And the success rate, for the most part, is there to verify their puck movement. Stefano Marchetti plays it out of his own zone. Gander going after it, and a penalty coming up in behind the play for tripping.
Namestnikov, for the second time this game, is going to head to the penalty box. Had a hooking call in that first period. And now, just on the back check, the stick into the feet of the Italian player. Down he goes, and Rock not happy with the call. He was saying Italy had too many men on the ice. Second power play of the game for Italy. They didn't get a shot on their first one in period one.
May not be a bad move by the Italian coach to try and have too many men on the ice as much as he possibly can. This has been a very one-sided hockey game, as expected. I mean, Italy played yesterday. Turnover, shot by Scandella, that changed directions. And Vasilevsky there to clear it, and we have another penalty. Or do we?
No, I may have caught the glass before its way out, but a good deflection by Insum in front off the Scandella shot, and that just trickles wide of the post. So much as you're just saying it's a one-sided affair, if Italy can capitalize here, all of a sudden you got a one-goal game.
Some of the teams haven't played for a while, so now all of a sudden you're playing on back-to-back days. Catch a spinorama, played it to the front of the net, and a penalty coming up as Belov got taken down, and it's going to be a hooking call. And take another look at this. Marini heads to the penalty box.
Giovanni Marini.
Italy player number 16, 2 minutes hooking.
It might have been a little bit of a dive or an embellishment as Belov driving to the net. A nice little move by Ketchup, the little spin around looking for the pass, but Marini's got the stick right into the midsection. Be a tough one to argue.
Yeah, the hook was there before Belov went down, but it was a hook.
Giovanni Morini, 2 minutes penalty for.
So we're going to get some 4-on-4. Helfer plays it to the corner, but it's turned over by Frigo. Dodonov runs into the referee, plays it back for Sapachev, back for Dodonov, and back for Sapachev to the front of the net, and that gets deflected away. Cross ice by Hofer. And Germany on the 4-on-4 inside the line. Helfer gets a bit of a bump there from Mironov. But it is controlled by Berard into the front of the net. Shot by Anton Bernard. Rebound, score! Tommaso Traversa. Spots the rebound, and that will make the Italian fans in the building somewhat happy.
Well, Dodonov and Sapachev just completely out of the play. Mironov and Provorov, they just let him skate to the net. Quick shot at Traversa. Gets a little separation from Mironov and net. A little spin around, a shot off the rebound as Captain Bernard. Good job, a lot of room to skate to the middle. Good save by Vasilevsky. And Traversa just spins and it goes off the stick that's on the ice and past Vasilevsky. Boy, there's some happy Italian fans. As talked about it, now it is just a one-goal game. 2-1 Russia.
The goal coming 4-on-4, and we still have some 4-on-4 for another 35 seconds.
Score number 19.
And then Russia will go back to the power play for the second time.
18, Anton Bernard, number 26, Armin Helfer. Time 23:40. Tor für Team Italien, der Torschütze mit der Nummer 19, Thomas Traversa. Die Assistenten mit der 18, Anton Bernard, und der 26.
Helfer and Bernard with the assist on the tally. Panarin leaves. Kucherov the shot, that's off a leg. As Larkin got in front of it, Kucherov again for Panarin, and a good defensive play down low by Scandella. Just got enough of the puck to deflect it away from Panarin. Kucherov back in, and Kucherov gets drilled by Big Larkin. Power play now for Russia, and this gets cleared down the ice.
Kucherov took that hit, got up quickly afterwards, but great feed, or great attempted feed, and you mentioned the great play by Scandella.
Gusev carries in, he'll drop it. Nemesnikov in for Kucherov, scores! Nikita Kucherov goes blocker side of the right-handed catching netminder Kuche, and the two-goal lead is back.
Kucherov, such a great shot by him. 40 goals this past year, 85 points with Tampa Bay. He has his first of the tournament. Starts just a little play, getting in a deep. Gusev, good speed, and then Nemesnikov finds Kucherov. Great shot by him as he goes high to the blocker's side. And Russia regains their two-goal lead. Kuche got a piece of that puck, but not enough as it goes up into the top corner.
So 4 minutes and 51 seconds in. That was Russia's first shot of this period.
Power play goal for Team
Silovich
Russia.
back in the zone end for Russia.
Nikita Kucherov, assisted by number 19.
Sends it through for Kachev. Kachev sends it on for Mosyakin. Mosyakin couldn't catch up to it.
51, Team Italy.
Gusev and Nemesnikov.
Tor für Team Russland.
With the helpers on the marker.
Nummer 86, Nikita Kucherov.
Bernard couldn't pick that up as he reached back for it. Plotnikov back in for Russia. Plotnikov and Hofer tie each other up, and the loose puck is picked up by Kachev. Drops it back at the line. It got away from Gavrikov. And it bounced back into the Russian zone. Ivan Provorov, former Western Hockey League star with the Brandon Wheat Kings.
His first year in the NHL with the Philadelphia Flyers, a good rookie campaign.
Speaking of the Western Hockey League, Regina, Seattle, that series tied. A couple of overtime games in Regina. Andronov gets spun around in the corner. Ivan Telegan on the loose puck. Telegan plays it back in behind the net. Andronov, 2 goals in the tournament for him. Sends it back at the line. Provorov takes the return pass from Mironov, and the shot never got to the net. Barabanov twisting and turning, trying to find a little bit of space against the checking of Enrico Migliorzani. Provorov will jump in from the line. Migliorzani is on it now, plays it behind his own net, but that gets turned over. Russia back on the attack with Dodonov. He got spilled by Costner. And in across the line for Diego Costner with the shot. Another bouncy puck. Diego Costner tried to knock it down, couldn't. Dodonov in on the forecheck. Goy deflects it inside the Russian line. Play back out by Zub. And we'll see the complete of the line change now for the two teams as Gander winds it up out of his own zone. Marcus Gander runs into Anton Belov. And Vasilevsky looks one way, plays it the other way. Panarin waits for it. And Panarin sends it cross ice for big Anton Belov. And this is going to be called offside at the line. A 3-1 game, each team with a goal here in period 2.
In Paris, the score between Slovenia and Canada is Slovenia 0, Canada 5. Und wir schauen kurz zum Parallelspiel nach Paris. Dort steht es in der Gruppe B zwischen Slowenien und Kanada 0:5.
Дамы и господа, параллельно с нашим матчем в Париже проходит матч чемпионата мира по хоккею Словения-Канада. Счет 5-0 в пользу сборной Канады.
Russia has the 3-1 lead as Nikita Kucherov regained the 2-goal lead after Tommaso Traversa of Italy got Italy on the board. It's just been all Russia in this game. Italy able to get that one. It was on 4-on-4 when he opened the ice. You would have thought that would have been Russia's opportunity to take advantage, and Russia has 2 power play goals in this game.
And it was Dodonov and Sapachov that were on the ice for Russia at the time. Nathan McKinnon, by the way, has a hat trick as Canada's up on Slovenia 5-0. Scandella trying to center it to the short side. That got intercepted. And back up the ice for Nemestikov. Feeds us through. Kucherov deflects it in. This is game 1 of 3 today here in Cologne. USA, Denmark up next. And then Latvia and Slovakia will wrap it up tonight. Gusev for Kucherov. Slap shot from the line by Kasilovic went wide. Kachev after it, cleared away from him. Kucherov rink wide. Mosiakin plays give and go with Gavrikov. Mosiakin to the front of the net. Puck is still loose. And Larkin will shovel this ahead. Scandella's after it. Scandella tried to play that through for Traversa. And that got picked up. Gavrikov will slide that in deep. Zanata got taken to the corner boards, kept in at the line by Belov. For Kasilovic. Back for Belov and back for Kasilovic. Down low looking for Mosiakin. Thomas Larkin breaks this up for Italy and sends it all the way down the ice. They wave off icing. 9 gone here in period number 2. Clear back at the line, and Italy will regroup. Larkin for Zanata. Insom had this get away from him. And Belov is back for it. Gets some pressure there from Costner. As the puck bounces around the boards, Belov down on one knee, tried to play it, couldn't. And a slap shot from the high slot by Diego Costner. And a save by Vasilevsky.
Italy got on the board. Some nice work by the captain Bernard, and then Traversa in front, able to collect the rebound. And celebration there before, right after that, Kucherov with the quick shot takes the feed from his Tampa teammate Nemesnikov, and Nikita Kucherov makes it a 3-1 game and still sits at that. Russia has not put a lot of pucks to the net. They have had puck possession. They've moved the puck around, a lot of passing, but not many have gone in on Frederick Kluge.
Shots are 6-2 this period in favor of Italy. So Italy, after only 2 shots on goal in the opening period, a little more in the attack mode here in the second.
Shots 12-8 overall favoring Russia, so not many at either end.
Goy plays it deep into the Russian zone, and here comes Antipin. And that pass, attempted pass, goes off the stick and right back in where Vasilevsky has to slide it back for Barabanov. Up the middle looking for Ivan Telegan. And that got blocked, and Antipin will start it again. Again, his pass up the middle gets picked off. Backhand try there by Morty Zani. And another backhand shot and a glove save by Vasilevsky. This one coming off of Scandella's stick.
Italy's done a good job just clogging up that neutral zone, and Russia just not getting any speed. Good job by Scandella, just protects that puck. Quick little backhand. Vasilevsky able to see that all the way, make the easy glove save. And Scandella, that line, you're talking about the top line for Italy, is Scandella picked up an assist in that first game against Slovakia.
So not the rope-a-dope that we saw from Italy in the opening period. Talk about this venue, and it is a beautiful venue, but some of the teams have elected to dress at the practice facility and then bus over because the dressing rooms at the practice facility for some teams are bigger and more equipped than what some of the dressing rooms here are. Gavrikov lets the shot go off the backboards. And that gets picked up by Egger. To the line no further. Gavrikov will hold it in, only briefly. And Russia back on the regroup with Dodonov. Now through the middle of the ice, Nemesnikov. For Sapachev. Shot from the line, blocked in front of the net. Kluche has to clear. And then he gets backhanded back into the Russian zone. Vasilovich plays it off. Nemesnikov from Kucherov. Nemesnikov tried to get it back to him, and this will end up in the Russian bench.
Deflected up and out of play. There's a look at Nemesnikov. Benjamin picks up the assist on the Kucherov goal. Connections for the Russian player. His uncle is a former teammate of mine, Vyacheslav Kozlov.
He had some nice hands.
Certainly did.
Nikita Kucherov, some controversy at the end of the year when he came back to Russia here. He was interviewed, and keep in mind sometimes the translation does get twisted a bit. But he was critical of some of his Tampa Bay teammates. Didn't like some of the line juggling that John Cooper did for Tampa.
The work for him. Ended up 5th in the league in scoring with 85 points.
Again, no Steven Stamkos for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Backhanded in. Zanata will leave it. And Larkin will send this ahead for Bernard. Bernard, the brother of the netminder that played yesterday, Andreas Bernard. He's the backup today to Kluche. And Anton Bernard, the player in the lineup, the forward, as far as Italy is concerned. 3-1 here in the second period.
Russia. Italy has been the better team here in the second period. What we thought might be a bit of a blow, they've managed to keep it close, and I'm sure head coach Stefan Mayer happy with what his team's done. They were sat back a lot in that first, but able to generate a little more offensively here in period 2.
Chopped out at center ice. Diego Kostner going after it, but Antipin got there first. Antipin again steps up the center ice to break up the play, and Mosiakin plays it for Plotnikov. Plotnikov got knocked down on the play, and Plotnikov a little slow to get up. That's the second time in this game that Plotnikov has taken a hard hit. The first one resulted in a penalty to Traversa and ended up being a power play goal for Russia. Russia 2 for 2 on the power play in this game after not getting a power play goal against Sweden. Kostner plays this through for Daniel Frank, and Daniel Frank gets drilled by Plotnikov.
Plotnikov a little upset from that earlier collision.
Thinking it's better to be a giver than a receiver. Gander plays this down low, and it's Andronov, Antipin, Barabanov has Taligan with him. Barabanov trying to bust it through the middle, can't. Telegan is after it, comes to the side of the net. And Frederick Kluche, who has been over in Europe since 07-08, will hang on to it.
Was the play. Sergei Plotnikov, a bit of a push there. It didn't look like much as Armin Helfer. I don't know if he just caught the right spot and maybe a bit of a cross check, but Plotnikov back on the bench. Here was earlier in the game, the penalty to Tommaso Traversa resulted in 13-second power play for Russia that ended in a goal by Evgeny Dodonov. But sure, Oleg Narak not happy, and the coaching staff for Russia was worried coming in that Russia would slow their game down, maybe take it a little easy, and I think we've seen that here in the second period where they really haven't generated much.
Talk about the young roster for Russia in this game, and the feeling here is that some of that has to do with the Olympic situation where the NHL players may not be going, although Alex Ovechkin has said that he will seriously give it a look. So Oleg Narak's task this past season was to give as many youngsters a look as possible, and we're seeing some of that, but they still have some of their veterans like Sapachov, although he will be in the National Hockey League next year, more than likely, as he has been signed by the Las Vegas Knights. So
and I'm sure he was one of the guys that would have had a lock on the Olympic team had no NHL players gone, and they would have expected him, but now about to begin his first season in the NHL.
René Fossell, the head of the IHF, was asked about the Olympic situation, said there is nothing new. They are still talking to the Players Association, they are talking to the IHF and the Olympic Committee, and trying to sort something out. For now, you get the feeling the NHL owners are just sitting back and seeing where this whole thing plays itself out. Panarin in for Dodonov, didn't get much on it, and a right pad save by Kluche. It is 3-1 Russia. Dennis Bayak, Shane Natty, all of our TSN people and all the other people involved from across the world in the world broadcast that bring you all the pictures and all the other sounds that you get. Again, doing a terrific job. Zanata out at center, ahead for Bernard. Anton Bernard will drop it back. Scandella's shot goes off the stick of Artemi Panarin, and Nemestikov will spring Kucherov. Kucherov drops for Nemestikov, scores! One perhaps that Frederick Kluche would like back. But Vladislav Nemestikov has made this a 4-1 game.
They have the talent, they don't need many opportunities. It's just a quick little 2-on-2 cross and drop between the Lightning teammates. And Vladislav Nemestikov, who set up Kucherov earlier, returns the favor as Kucherov will cross drop and the shot 5-hole on Kluche. And Russia goes up 4-1. A bit of a roller there that he fooled Kluche. Thought he had that one.
Not sure if that goes off the stick of Tommaso Traversa or not. But you're right, the rolling puck did give Kluche a little bit of difficulty. And it is a 4-1 game now in favor of Russia. Frederick Kluche, by the way, born in Quebec, did spend some time. And there's a penalty coming up now. It'll be to Italy as Vasilevsky starts to head to the bench. The play is whistled down.
Nikita Kucherov took a high stick. He was coming up the ice. We'll see whether this is a 2 or a 4-minute penalty. As Diego Costner gets the stick up on Kucherov right at the red line. Kucherov right to the bench, so just a 2-minute power play for Russia. 2 for 2 in this game.
Team Italy, number 22, 2 minutes, high stick.
It is just 2 minutes, yes. We look at referee Josef Kubiš out of Slovakia. And in the penalty box is Simon Costner, Diego Costner. Simon Costner, Diego Costner, not related. Back at the line for Anton Belov.
2 minutes penalty
For Artemi Panarin, third power play of the game for Russia. Dodonov darts into the hole. It comes back to Mosiakin. Save made by Kluche.
Mosiakin just jumps off the point. They got the 2 one-timers, both him and Belov. Kluche able to come out, cut the angle, and make the save as Mosiakin skates right into that one-timer, the feed from Sapachov.
Talk about the young Russian team. There are some veterans, and Mosiakin being one of them, 36 years of age. Been in the KHL for a long time, 124 KHL playoff games for Mosiakin. He has it at the point. Looking for a slap pass, that got tipped away. And this will be taken by Insum, and he'll get it out at center ice. Didn't get much on that backhand clearing attempt, and Mosiakin will bring it back in. Feathers it across. As the power play continues, Sapachov gets it for Panarin to Dodonov. Now back for Mosiakin. Back for Sapachov. Sapachov, Mosiakin. Mosiakin in a little tight, Panarin scores!
What a pass by Mosiakin. And Panarin's so good at adjusting to get this shot away. This is right after Belov blasted one. I think it caught iron, but Artemi Panarin gets his second of the tournament as he had the the shootout winner. Here's the play. Watch Mosiakin. He's going to fake this and then cross ice. Panarin drops down to one knee to make sure he gets that puck. Tough angle shot on a little bit of a one-timer, but that is just a great pass from Mosiakin. And Panarin is Kluche unable to get over. And a little bit of a late push here is 5-1 now Russia.
Russia 3 for 3 on the power play, so their power play numbers will certainly get a bump. Russia was on the power play, was having a discussion amongst all the officials in front of the penalty box. And they're going to have a look at something. Quite sure as we see the
replay. Are they going to look off at the Belov shot earlier, possibly?
Ah, yes.
Here it is. Belov let this one go. And it did. It hit the crossbar, so it should be just a quick look, right? The only thing they could be reviewing
to
see if that goal, and then they would push time back, but should stand as a goal by Panarin off that great feed from Mosiakin. See this power play set up for a couple of years now, and they have it working in this game. 3 for 3. Started with Dodonov, the power play goal, then Kucherov, and now Artemi Panarin. There's Anton Belov. They let that shot go.
Russia had 45 power plays in the championship last year. That was tops for power play opportunities.
Not sure if they're reviewing this, because if they are, it's done. Here's the shot by Panarin off that feed from Mosiakin. See the reaction of Kluche. Panarin gets the tap in. Acknowledges the play by Mosiakin. Be ready for the decision here.
After review, the first shot hit the post, so call on the ice 10 seconds, goal.
Took a long time. We saw it once and knew it wasn't a goal, but I guess just to confirm. And Panarin can smile now knowing his goal will count.
So Russia has opened up The 5-1 lead. Russia led 2-0 after one. Italy did cut it to 2-1. There's a long hopper that Kluche had to be careful with. And now Russia has come back with 3 straight goals. 3 power play goals in this game. Ivan Telegan puts on the brakes in behind his own net. Russia, Zub plays this for Barabanov. Barabanov played it to the front of the net, trying to find Ivan Telegan. That got cleared away. Second straight World Championship and second overall for Ivan Telegan. Ivan Provorov trying to get a hip check in at the line and missed. Very good last year, 4 goals and 6 points for Russia. An Atlanta draft pick initially. Bouncing puck out at center ice, and this will get pitched into the Italian bench by Frank. We'll get a stoppage.
Oleg Snarok's team able to pick it up here late in the second period. A bit of a slow start. It's Italy. It was a 2-1 game there for a while, but Stefan Mer's team just cannot keep pace with Russia. They too much skill, talent at this level, and they kept it close for a while.
Back to Telegan for a second. Great 2 years in the Ontario Hockey League with Saginaw. 169 points in 156 games played. And another one we talked about last year, whether or not someone might be able to maybe get him another chance in the National Hockey League, if indeed that is what he wants. And we see it with a number of Russian players where they are very content to play in the KHL.
I see it with a few players on a team. Saw Michael Kempny last year for the Czech Republic as Chicago signed him.
Canada up 6-1 on Slovenia. Gusev plays it back to Silovic. Cross ice, Gavrikov. Lead pass, Kachev now. Kachev puts on the brakes. Russia in a line change. Kasilovic on the backhand trying to play it down low. That got picked off, and an easy out now for Italy to the Russian line, no further. And back in a chance for Kachev. Save made by Kluche. Insom carries back, maybe an odd man rush for Italy. Dishes near side, Tommaso Traversa with the slap shot. And Vasilevsky the save. And every once in a while we see a little chippiness in this game.
Well, Ketchov driving the net, trying to get it going. It ends up coming back the other way. Here's the initial play. Ketchov gets a step and a nice save by Kluche. Gets the blocker down. Takes away that chance. Looking for some room to the 5-hole. Saved by Kluche and reaction by Rock on the bench.
Kluche now plays in the Alps Hockey League, a league that was formed when 2 leagues merged. In Italy, 36 on May the 14th will be Frederick Kluche. Panarin, Antipin, Sapachev. Waiting for it is Panarin. Gets it back. Antipin, Sapachev, Dodonov heads to the front of the net. Takes the puck. Dodonov trying to come cross ice looking for Panarin. And that cross ice pass got picked off, and Belov retreats and sends it right back into the Italian zone. Off the back of the net for Dodonov. Sapachev trying to dig it free. Dying seconds of period number 2, and we're going to get a penalty. This is going to be a cross-checking call. And back to the power play. Nope, we'll go Italy.
Panarin's going to pick up the cross-checking call late here in period number 2. Not sure where it happened in front of Don Traversa. A quick little cross-check in front, and Traversa able to draw the penalty for his team, so Italy will go to the power play here. very late period.
Team Russia, number 72.
Can't capitalize, start in the third with it.
2 minutes penalty for cross-checking. Time 39:48. Es gibt eine Strafe gegen das Team Russland.
Italy will be back at it on Tuesday. They will have an off day tomorrow. Tuesday they will take on Latvia. Then they'll play back-to-back again Wednesday. The Italians will play the United States. This gets cleared all the way down the ice, and that will bring the period to an end.
Kucherov started in another power play goal, and then from there, a couple more, and it is 5-1 here with 20 minutes to play. Andre Vasilevsky, only 10 shots. The one that beat him, Tommaso Traversa, was 4-on-4. He was able to get one passed on a rebound. So it's Narak here getting his team ready for their final 20 minutes as they have the commanding lead.
And they'll start this period shorthanded. Russia will with Artemi Panarin. 1:45 left in his minor penalty. So Italy with the man advantage, and Marco Insam will drive this in. Kept in at the line by Egger, back for Insam. Shot from a sharp angle, and Vasilevsky will hang on to that.
Scandella just working that half wall. Have Marino in front, Marini. And Ilya Sorokin in net here for the final period for Russia. So Vasilevsky getting the break possibly from his coach, and Sorokin in net. For CSK Moscow in the KHL.
Power play continues for Italy. Puck gets turned over. Costner back at the line. Insam will play this all the way around. Comes back for Egger. Egger for Insam. Insam with a cross ice pass. And just a little too much on that pass and a little too hard for Scandella to handle. Barabanov stopped at the line. Following up, Nemestikov will play it back into his own zone. Near side for Mironov, up for Nemestikov. Nemestikov shorthanded. Nemestikov on the backhand, and that did not miss by far post by much. Back up for Frigo. Plays it in. After here's Bernard. Anton Bernard plays it for Frigo. Frigo gets tied up there. So does Bernard. Puck comes loose, and Frigo's on it. He'll fire it, and that goes wide. Puck comes around the boards, and that'll be sent all the way back in behind the net by Rafael Andergassi. Bernard down for Frigo. Frigo gets pinned to the side wall. Tommaso Traversa plays this back at the line, and this will come out at center ice, and Artemi Panarin is freed from the penalty box.
One shot on that power play for Italy.
Russia with the 5-1 lead. Back for it, Antipin. Tries to work it out of his own zone, can't. Back at the line, Zanata for Larkin, and Larkin shot. And another save by Ilya Sorokin.
Shot from the outside as Ofra lets it go, and Sorokin able to make the save. Entry played in the KHL with CSK Moscow. Sorokin 39 games, some good numbers. It's his second world championship for Russia. New York Islander draft pick back in 2014.
Seen some World Junior action. Shot in front of the net, Kluche down, and Kluche will hang on to it.
Savlich in on the rush. Nice little play. He starts it up to Shapachov. A little play back to him and tries to go to the backhand, and a nice save by Kluche. Was able to cover that puck hard into the boards. Everyone seems all right after that play.
Italy back with Scandella. Stopped at center ice briefly and then keeps on going, and then his wrist shot got blocked, never got through as Belov got in front of it. And Italy will try it again with Marini. Marini sends it deep. Belov has him lined up and then gets the stick in that passing lane. Scandella trying to sidestep the checking of Zub, and a penalty coming up on the play, and it's going to go to Italy as Zub got taken down, and this will be a holding call.
Tell by the reaction, is Russia 3 for 3 on the power play. Italy's head coach Stefan Mera, that's the last thing he wants to see is Scandella gets the grab on Zub.
Italy number 10, 2
Scandella
minutes
thought
holding.
there might be one going to Zub on the play for hooking his body position. You can see Scandella just grabs Zub's arm and takes him down to the ice. So Russia another power play chance.
Down to the mat with the arm bar. Kucherov, who has a power play goal in this game. Provorov. As they set up the power play, Gusev, Kucherov. Back at the line, Provorov misfired. Kucherov has it again, quickly looking for Gusev. Gusev at one time a Tampa Bay Lightning draft pick. Kucherov down to the goal line, off, Plotnikov jams at it, scores! It came off a skate, and Plotnikov stayed with it and jams it in. Kuche is going to argue that he had it. We'll see whether or not this gets reviewed, but the fourth power play goal of the game now for Russia.
The puck was loose at the side of the net. It was Plotnikov trying to center this puck. Went off a skate. Kuche makes the initial save as it goes off the skate, a helper in front, and then Plotnikov just stays right with it. You can see everybody collapsing down, but puck is loose. Does push the pad.
Yeah, this may get reviewed. You are not allowed to push the netminder or his pads into the net. Create a goal.
That young fan thinks it's good to go.
Yep.
As happy as Sergei Plotnikov. Pittsburgh and Arizona back in the 15-16 season, split between the two teams. 32 games with Pittsburgh and 13 with Arizona, and it looks like this is a good goal. So the power play, 4 for 4 for Russia.
Just over 16 left to go here in the third. And another injured player on the far side. Is that Gander?
Really Marcus Gander down. Not sure what happened. This puck deep Italian zone. Gander slow to head to his bench for the plays.
43-39.
Not just trying to go by him. His elbow catches Gander up high. Looked at on the Italian bench. Open up the scoring for Russia in this game. Back-to-back games, he has goals.
At the big goal yesterday, they were trailing Sweden, or a couple days ago, they were trailing Sweden. He tied it up, and then they eventually went on to win the game in a shootout. Mironov. Barabanov sends this for Ivan Telegan. Telegan's going to try and drive it to the net against Big Larkin. There was some size there on both sides. And a short side chance for Telegan, and Frederick Kluche makes the save. Offside will be called against Russia as Barabanov goes sliding into the boards hard.
Barabanov just trying to keep that in, and he fell down. You mentioned that goal by Dodonov against Sweden. It was a great pass by Barabanov behind the net, and it was a bit of a line change in that game. And certainly worked for Oleg Snarakis. Look at Gander on the Italian bench. Looks like he is going to be all right.
Marcus Gander, this is his second World Championship. Russia back to regroup. Russia back at it tomorrow. They will take on the hosts, Germany. And then they'll have a couple of days off before they play Denmark on Thursday. Dodonov. for Gavrikov. Back for Dadonov. For Artemi Panarin. Panarin twisting and turning, gets it for Sapachev. Sapachev's pass, that got knocked down, and is getting a stick on that was Giovanni Morini, and we have another penalty coming up.
Scandella is going to go right back to the box as they turn the puck over. Sapachev with a bad pass, but he gets back, and as he does, the stick
Italy number 10.
into the hands of Sapachev. It has been all Russia. Dadonov on the power play, the first one of the game. The second one, Kucherov, the quick shot. Third one, Panarin off a great feed from Mosiakin, and this last one, a bit of a jam play as Plotnikov just pushes that over the goal line.
So 4 for 4, they'll try and go 5 for 5. Italy's penalty killing taking a bit of a beating in this game.
2 minutes penalty for hooking.
Mosiakin for Sapachev, for Panarin, back for Sapachev, in for Mosiakin, scores! Well, some tic-tac-toe that we have seen from Russia, not only in the early going of this tournament, but in previous tournaments, and the veteran Mosiakin will get the power play goal.
He had the great feed earlier, and this is why he led the KHL. 48 goals. He has got an absolute rocket, and he steps into that feed as Sapachev just puts it on a tee for him, and he puts it into the top corner past the glove of Kluche. Italy might want to stay to the penalty box, be my guess. 5 for 5 on the man advantage for Russia in this game, and it is 7-1. There's a look at the captain for Russia, Sergei Mosiakin.
Mosiakin 3 points shy of 600 in the KHL, 597 points in 487 games for the 36-year-old.
So I thought he was slowing down at 36, but had a tremendous year.
Russia back in, Namestnikov scores! This one becomes a bit of a runaway.
Well, we kind of expected this to happen. It stayed close for a while, and now Russia has just opened the floodgates. Namestnikov gets his second of this game. Nice little give and go off the wall. He comes in late as Kucherov finds him. Good job by Gusev. Just drives through the middle. And that opens up in the slot. Namestnikov, he just changes the angle, and as he cuts one way, shoots against the grain and beats Kluche to the blocker side. Russia 8-1.
Good day for Namestnikov, 4 points. Good day offensively all round for Russia. Turnover, Mosiakin off the pipe. Mosiakin after it in the corner. Plays it back for Kachev. Kachev gets tied up by 3 Italian players. It is Koster with the lead pass. Big hit as Provorov steps into Andergassen.
Andergassen trying to toe drag, and Provorov plays the body.
Plotnikov for Mosiakin. Mosiakin centers, and a chance in front for Kachev, but he couldn't bury it. Lead pass for Scandella. This will be, nope, they wave off the icing and the offside. Looks like Scandella might have been ahead of the play on that. Plotnikov for Antipin. He'll wind his way in, try to get around the checking of Lucas Anata, could not. And Morini back, and he gets drilled by Andronov. Larkin back in, and Andronov had him lined up, and Larkin dumped it in. Andronov may have been overmatched there on Big Larkin.
Marini's fine from him, but Larkin is a big body for Italy.
Panarin. He'll send this across after it's Sapachev. He got stripped of the puck. And taken by Anton Bernard at center, and he'll play it deep. Gavrikov for Sapachev. Ahead for Dodonov, rink wide, Panarin. Panarin takes a look, plays it for Gavrikov, and his shot is blocked by Bernard, and out of play it goes. 8-1, Russia with the lead.
And it was assisted by number 86, Nikita Kucherov, and number 90, Vladislav Namestnikov. Eine kurze Korrektur zum 6. Tor Russlands. Der Torschütze mit der Nummer 16, Sergei Klopnikov. Die Assistenten mit der 86, Nikita Kucherov, und mit der 90, Vladislav Namestnikov.
Дамы и господа, просится уточнение. Шестую шайбу ворота сборной команды Италии забросил Сергей Плотников, номер 16, Спиргач. Никита Кучеров, номер 86, и Владислава Наместникова, номер 90. Спасибо.
Congratulations and a big cheer to
Well, Russian fans certainly have had lots to cheer about here today as their team with the 8-1 lead, and the power play has been lethal. 5 for 5 against Italy with the man advantage. And really, they knew they were overmatched, and taking penalties certainly hasn't helped them.
USA-Denmark, the next game. Denmark coming off the loss yesterday to Latvia. Didn't create much. Nikolai Ehlers had some chances. Denmark, of course, will be the host country next year. And USA coming off a tough loss against Germany. USA played very well. Germany gets the late power play goal on opening night in front of a full house here, cheering mostly for Germany. There were some American fans in the building. Sapachev for Belov. Back for Sapachev. Sapachev will dish it off. Sent down low by Mironov. After it is Armin Helfer. Helfer trying to scoop it away, can't. Belov. Back for Mironov, back for Belov, and back for Mironov. For Panarin. Artemi Panarin. Sends it back for Dodonov. He'll get away from Gander. Another penalty coming to Italy. It'll be a hooking call. Sapachev ends up back on the stick of Dodonov. 6 attackers now for Russia. Panarin for Mosiakin, and Mosiakin gets stopped on the play by Armin Helfer. And the penalty coming up right there to Marcus Gander.
Well, Dodonov just gets a step on him, and Gander getting the stick earlier. Mosiakin had a chance on a turnover, and he catches the iron. Beats Kluche to the blocker's side, so Mosiakin had the last power play goal for Russia. Stefan Mera, this is wanting the clock to wind down as quick as possible. Still a little over half a period left.
Well, he talked about it before the game that this was going to be very much a challenge. His team was certainly outmatched in this game. They were playing back-to-back. Russia had the off day yesterday. Kucherov plays it back for Provorov. Provorov for Gusev, trying to come back to Kucherov, and that's off the outside of the post. So they've scored 8, but boy, they've had a couple of other chances. You just mentioned the Mosiakin one. There's one by Kucherov that didn't miss by much, and there's Kluche making the save off the quick shot from Nikita Gusev.
Kucherov earlier just puts that off the outside of the post. I think Kluche got a piece of it. It's a quick shot by him. He's had the good night as he's got 4 points. Both him and Namestnikov playing together. Big part of the offense here for Russia.
Other events happening around the World Championship. Coaches Symposium on the 13th and 14th here in Cologne. Uwe Krupp, Tom Rennie, Melanie Davidson among the speakers. John Whitesides of the Boston Bruins. There's a shot, and Kluche makes that save point blank and hangs on to it.
Able to walk right in, and Kluche now the save. So Italy being able to kill this penalty, looking for their first penalty kill of the night as they've been unsuccessful in the other 5 attempts. Well, Russia has struggled to find their offense against Sweden. They got a goal late and then a shootout goal, but tonight certainly firing in all the right ways, especially on the power play.
Italy went 4 for 4 on the penalty kill against Slovakia in their opening game, a game they lost in overtime. But it has been a struggle against this very talented Russian team. Sapachev plays it back. Mozyakin, cross ice, and Artemi Panarin just unloads, and it is 9-1.
Continue to celebrate. His power play remains perfect on the day. 6 for 6 as Panarin just absolutely, as you said, unloads, unleashed on this Mozyakin pass, and Kluche not getting over in time, and Sapachev will pick up another assist. Mozyakin an assist. People watch the NHL and seen this before. For the Chicago Blackhawks, Panarin so good at getting that shot away from that offside.
Just gets lost in the shuffle. Starts off, good look at it there. Great camera work. Starts off in behind the net and just floats to the open area, and Mozyakin just waits until he gets there. And he just unloaded on that shot. It has been a big night for the stars of this Russian squad. The youngster Andronov got it going. Since then, it has been the big boys that have done most of the damage. Barabanov trying to work it back to the line, does. Kasilovic goes cross ice. Gavrikov plays it back, looking for Ivan Telegin. Telegin outmuscles his man. That was Andregasin. And now Andregasin does come up with it and slips it back into the Russian zone as we are into the final 8:45 of this one. 2-0 after 1. And then from the latter stages of the second period to this point,
So one goal game there for a moment. Power plays, 6 power play goals.
And it was really literally a couple of minutes because Italy took a penalty right after that. And Russia went to work on the power play, and this power play has been absolutely deadly. Mozyakin chased there by Armin Helfer. Plays it back for Plotnikov. Plotnikov into the slot. Mozyakin unloaded. And that never got through.
Just skipped by him as he came right down the middle for the one-timer.
Russia back on the regroup and a line change. Antipin will start back. Antipin feeds it through. Cross ice for Gusev. Gusev's shot is off the leg. Kucherov back for it. Shot from the line, Provorov. That got steered away by Helfer. And on the loose puck now is Marini. Marini to the outside, stopped at the line, shovels it deep, and Provorov is back for it. Gets away from Scandella. Up for Kucherov. Kucherov's pass partially blocked, and Antipin will one-hand shovel this ahead for Kucherov. In for Nemestikov. He has 2, looking for 3, and a good save there by Kluche. Antipin back for it. Andronov started it, and then Dodonov, Kucherov, Nemesnikov, Panarin, Plotnikov, Mozyakin, and then Nemesnikov again, and then Panarin again. For Russia, Dodonov for Sapachev. Not much thought from Oleg Snarok about resting his big boys right now. Panarin trying to dance his way through. Panarin gets a bit of a chop, keeps on going. Plays it back at the line. Certainly some frustration as Stefano Marchetti was trying to stay with Panarin. Back at the line, Zub lets the blast go. Panarin is on it again, looking for Sapachov. It got picked off, but it stays inside the Italian line. And the long shot by Anton Belov, grabbed and held by Frederic Cloutier, and Russia certainly looks like they're trying to get to double digits.
Please notice you can get the official World Championship program at the Arena Ring. You can buy for only €2 and the official World Championship song is already included. Meine Damen und Herren, das WM-Programm der Flieges im Arena-Umlauf für nur €2. Und der WM-Song Playground ist schon
The Russian fans want to see some more. It is 9-1 for their team. And they came here for the early game of the triple header and still cheering, getting the wave going, is hoping maybe to see their team hit double digits in the scoreboard.
They were second in goals for last year with 44. Canada had more. And they have 9 in this game. They had a 10-1 win last year. The wave is going here in the building.
That was against Denmark, who's in action against the U.S. after this.
Andrew Gasson looking for Diego Kostner. Andronov plays it back down low. Barabanov for Telegan. Telegan plays it back at the line for Gavrikov. It is on a string for Russia for much of this game. Vasiljevic down for Andronov, for Telegan. And Cloutier is going to hang on to this. He dizzy yet watching the wave go by.
The Italians might be. But Artemi Panarin, 4 points tonight. Had the feed to Dadonov on the power play. Then it takes 1 feed from Mosiakin, puts it in. Helps set up the goal by Mosiakin, and then he takes another one from the captain. He has 2 goals, 2 assists. 4 points on the night for him, 4 points for Kucherov, 4 points for Nemesnikov.
Panarin, the NHL Rookie of the Year in the 15-16 season, 30 goals. He had 31 this last year. Early exit, though, by Chicago.
He plays with a decent player in Chicago.
Yeah.
Patrick Kane, of course.
Plotnikov tied up. Mosiakin is on the loose puck. Armin Helfer stays with him, and this will get cleared back into the Russian zone. Provorov goes back for it. Great year with the Philadelphia Flyers for Ivan Provorov. Right up there in defenseman scoring. Sent back in, Zub will go back for it into his own zone. Parks in behind his own net, just waiting for the line change to get completed. Sent in deep. Russia well on its way, perhaps, although Canada in a big game tonight and even leading that one comfortably. But in 4 of the last 8 years, it has been a Russian player that has won the scoring championship. Sapachov last year, Tikhonov the year in 2014. 2012 it was Malkin. 2010 it was Ilya Kovalchuk, who was going to play in this championship, but a knee injury has kept him out. Pavel Datsyuk banged up and not here. Here is a short hair, a chance on the breakaway for Kucherov back out front, looking for Gusev.
What a chance, Kucherov off the breakaway. Now he's going to look for another one.
Late pass just misses him.
Now, He had the breakaway against Sweden and he couldn't capitalize, put it wide on the backhand, and here Gusev just swats it free. Kucherov picks up the loose puck and he puts it wide as he looks to go to the blocker side. And he misses the net with that chance. I'm not sure what that is.
Alcohol may be a factor.
I hope so.
It really was Vladimir Putin under that Putin mask. He wasn't Belarus. Chance, Panarin looking for the hat trick and twisting and turning, realized he was by himself. And Kluche just holding his ground on the short side.
Well, Mironov just fires it down as Panarin behind everybody comes off the back boards and pops his stick as he goes to shoot it the first time. And resets, spins, fires, and Kluche makes the save.
He does take a look, but there was nobody with him. Gavrikov down for Dodonov. Back for Panarin. And he'll play it in behind the Italian net. Stefano Marchetti will play this up the boards. And it does come out. And does this hit someone on the Italian bench?
It's a high stick. Gavrikov trying to keep that in at the blue line. That's 35-14 in favor of Russia. Really just not able to generate much. Talk about the costumes, we've seen the mask, and another outfit is trying to get the Russian fans going.
The IIHF rankings for this tournament as to who is favored going in. Canada #1, Russia #2, Sweden #3, US 4, Czech Republic 5, Finland 6, Switzerland 7, Germany 8. So those were the projected top 8. That leaves Slovakia, Denmark, Belarus, Norway, France, Slovenia, Italy out of the picture. Here comes Panarin again and gets knocked off his stick. Into the final 2 minutes. Good play there by the defense corps of Italy as Panarin was coming in with a full head of steam. Andronov will play this in. Back for it is Hofer. Jams it up in the corner. Hofer comes out of the pile with the puck. Gets it ahead for Daniel Frank, but he couldn't get anywhere with it. Andronov back for Zub, and Zub will play it deep. Barabanov trying to pull away from Hofer. Barabanov into the high slot. In a little tight, Barabanov scores. And Russia will get it to double digits.
Barabanov just picks the top corner. Quick shot to the glove side. The fans wanted to see this as it is hit double digits. Here's a little play right back as in from the point. Provorov couldn't get the shot away. He just dumps it off Barabanov and he goes upstairs. A little quick wrister over the glove. And oh, it might have hit a stick. This might not be his goal. I think Andronov is going to get his second of the game.
It does look like it hits either the stick or a glove. But whether it's Andronov or Barabanov, it's 10-1. With 1:06 to go in what has been a long afternoon, early afternoon for Italy. Andronov does get the goal.
Number 29, Ivan Provorov.
Ivan Provorov along with Barabanov.
Andronov now 3 goals in the tournament. He's another one of the Russian players with 2 today. He joins Namestnikov and Panarin.
Співачі Івана Павлова 29,
Italy with an off day tomorrow. Marini tried to work it around Zub, could not. Giovanni Marini giving chase, and this gets sent around the boards. And Thomas Larkin will go back for it. Plotnikov is in on him. Dropped off by Scandella. Zanatta for Larkin. Long shot, floats that one high over top the net. Ilya Sorokin taking over from Andrei Vasilevsky here in the third period. Here comes Sapachev. Cross ice is the feed through from Gusev, rather looking in the high slot for Plotnikov. That never got through, and this one mercifully comes to an end with a 10-1 win for Russia.
Well, the majority of those goals coming in the back half of the game. It was 2-0 after one for Russia, then it was 2-1 in the second before Russia and their power play. 6 for 6 in this game with the man advantage. And they blow this one out as they win 10-1.
The game is over. The final
So 10-1 Russia defeats Italy. Next up here in Cologne, United States and Denmark as this one comes to an end.
Дамы и господа, матч окончен со счетом 10-1. Пока побежала сборная команда России.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best players officially will be awarded with the official watch by Tissot, official timekeeper of the 2017 IHF Eishockey World Championship. Meine Damen und Herren, liebe Eishockey-Fans, die besten Spieler beider Mannschaften werden nun ausgezeichnet mit der offiziellen Uhr von Tissot, dem offiziellen Zeitnehmer der IHF Eishockey-Weltmeisterschaft 2017.
Дамы и господа, официальный секундный лист чемпионата мира по хоккею 2017 года компания Tissot учредила специальные призы лучшим игрокам каждого матча.
The prizes will be presented by, die Preise werden übergeben von
Призы вручает
IHF Sport Director, der IHF Sportdirektor
спортивный директор Международной Федерации хоккея
Dave Fitzpatrick. Best Player of Team Italy, der beste Spieler des Teams Italien.
лучший игрок в составе сборной команды Италии.
Number 90, Nummer 90,
Номер 90
Tommaso Traversa. And the best player of Team Russia, der beste Spieler des Teams Russland.
и лучшим игроком в составе сборной команды России признан
Number 72, die 72.
номер 72 Артемий Бабаев.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the Russian Federation. Meine Damen und Herren, bitte erheben Sie sich für die russische Nationalhymne.
Дамы и господа, честь команды победительницы. Звучит государственный гимн Российской Федерации.